What's going on, y'all? What it is? So let's go ahead and slide on this topic, and I want to talk about this Diddy and Cassie situation yet again. Now, if I sound just a little bit disappointed, I actually am. And just like my grandmother used to say, and I is, because at the end of the day, I just would have slept better at night knowing that Diddy was being antagonized and terrorized behind the scenes, just like he's done his many victims. It's time for Diddy to drown in his own humiliation, in my opinion. And with Cassie settling rather quickly, it alleviated any fear or panic that Diddy was feeling in the tune of less than 48 hours of this lawsuit being filed against him. So she really didn't make him sweat behind the scenes. She really didn't make him wonder what information she had and things like that, you know? So, but anyway, she settled. We're going to get into this explosive email that I've gotten in regards to the settlement and things of that nature. But right now, I want to talk about Kimora Lee Simmons. Can we go there? All right, so let's talk about Kimora. So Kimora actually responded on her Instagram story with a very cryptic message, and I believe that this was aimed at Diddy, right? It's a no-brainer. So let's go here. So this is what Kimora posted on her Instagram story, and she said, "As you sow, so shall you reap," with a heart emoji, right? So very simple, just a one-liner. But we all know this has to do with Cassie as well, but more importantly, this has to do with Kim Porter. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but back in the days, Kimora and Puff got into a little bit of a verbal scuffle, and there was an incident that took place where they got into an argument. How much you want to bet that argument was about how he was treating Kim Porter? I bet it was, because we know that when it came to Kim and Kimora's friendship, they were tight like virgins. And so anyway, this verbiage that was exchanged between the two of them led to almost an altercation because Diddy threatened to put pause on Kimora. Now, this is what was said about the situation that transpired between Kimora and Puff back in 2004. So it says, "Russell's a cultural icon, continues the record industry executive, and in the hip-hop world, it's all about Russell. There was a nasty cloudburst when Kimora said something to Combs and he threatened to put pause on her, and she was preggo. The moron," says Kimora. So Kimora called him a moron. Combs eventually got down on his knees in public to apologize. "I respect him for being a fierce entrepreneur," she says now, "and I appreciate knowing that everything he does is emulating my husband at the time." So without a shadow of doubt, Kimora knows how Diddy gets down, and she almost experienced it firsthand, and Kim experienced it firsthand, but Kim stood up and fought. Kim started poking him. Hey, slice and dice, you know what I'm saying? New York style, razor, you know? Kim did not play with Diddy. She stood up to him, and she did not let him just walk all over her. Now, let's go ahead and get into this email, but before I do, I want to say this, right? The reason why Cassie was able to settle so quick with Diddy is because of Kim Porter. Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all don't hear me. I'm getting my Dr. Umar on, right? I'm repeating myself. The reason why Cassie was able to settle so quickly with Diddy is because of Kim Porter and the information about Kim Porter that she possessed. So let's go ahead and get into this email. And so it says here, "Hey man, I called that S, didn't I? I'm telling you, my boy, I doubt that Diddy has been able to sleep in the last 48 hours. But I will say many of us in the business still fear for Cassie's safety, her overall well-being, and most importantly, we are still afraid for her life. Even though she was able to reach an agreement for 20 million, at least that's what I'm hearing, Cassie is still in the danger zone. If she doesn't give up all the evidence that she has against Diddy that was passed down to her from Kim, I'm told that one of the stipulations of this agreement entailed that any evidence, whether it be written documents, pictures, or video footage, must be destroyed and most notably confiscated by trusted officials. I'm also told that Diddy requested that her husband, Alex Fine, stop mentioning his name publicly and taking little subtle jabs at his character. Cassie and Alex agreed. Cassie also had to sign another agreement stating that she cannot write a book detailing any information about her time with Diddy, Bad Boy, or anything associated with Diddy, whether it be directly or indirectly, which lets you know that Cassie didn't tell everything she knows within that 35-page lawsuit she filed against him. TMZ has the receipts but will not put out the information, which was requested by Diddy through his legal team. Also, Suge Knight is heated about some things that Cassie said in her lawsuit when she brought up the fact that Diddy went looking for him with the blicky, pow pow, Suge will address those claims and more in his upcoming podcast. By the way, did you see what Kimora said? But he isn't out of the story yet. I'm working on something, and if it checks out, I will hit you up. Diddy, and I personally feel Kimora is about to crack soon, because if Cassie is sitting on any information, then what the hell do you think that Kim's best friend Kimora is standing on? She definitely can shake up some S. I had a conversation last night with one of Kim's exes, and basically he said that even though Cassie made a huge step by coming forth and holding Diddy accountable over the span of 24 hours, it had became clear that the settlement was handled so swiftly because of the threat of Kim Porter's case being unmasked and reopened rather quickly. It's been said to me that once Cassie started hitting her lawyers with incidents that occurred in the past, and the knowledge of these past incidents had to only have come from one place, and that's Kim, he folded like them cheap lawn chairs, homie. But he isn't out of the woods yet. I'm working on something, and if it checks out, I will hit you up. Be safe. Alright, so you guys just heard all of that, and even though it comes from a person that has been in the same room as Kim Porter, I will protect the integrity of my platform and say that the information that I just conveyed to you is all alleged, okay? Now, before I finish this video, I got a call from this individual, and basically they told me that they were hearing that initially Diddy tried to settle with Cassie for only $5 million, but ended up settling with Cassie for $20 million. Now, we know that she was asking for $30 million. I guess Cassie said that's close enough to the number that I'm looking for. But honestly, y'all, at the end of the day, this just showcases that Diddy was a hit dog that hollered, because he had no comeback. You know, there were so many witnesses that were going to be brought to the stand if it went to trial. And so even though he was going to skip jail time, what it would have done was open up the floodgates to hell. And what's crazy is the fact that everybody is looking at Cassie's situation like, wow, man, this is crazy. Imagine what Kim Porter had to say. Imagine the receipts that Kim Porter had compared to what Cassie has. Cassie is said to have some receipts and things of that nature, but I don't think that she has everything. I think that Kimora has more than Cassie, but Cassie had just enough to force Diddy to go ahead and settle out of court, to go ahead and sweep this under the rug, because he didn't want no problems. But anyway, what I'm going to do right here is leave you guys with a couple of lawyers talking about this situation. And I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that we just talked about and the information that I just read to you all. Feel free to drop down and give me your thoughts and assessments. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, and God bless.
The Messy Lawyer is back with a surprising update in the Cassie Ventura lawsuit against Sean Puffy Combs. Cassie has officially settled, as of a few minutes ago, with Diddy. I'm not surprised that this settlement happened based on that complaint, which I still suggest that you read. What was interesting is that Diddy made a statement saying he wishes Cassie and her family the best, and that they were able to settle this matter amicably. Cassie and her lawyers commented on the settlement as well, and Cassie thanked her friends, family, and supporters. Her lawyers also made the statement that there would be no further comments about the case or the claims moving forward. And I really don't think we're going to hear anything else. As I stated in other videos that I did, there was a lot of evidence that was going to have to be overcome if that case went to trial. A lot of people would have been implicated. And a lot of people allegedly would have been called in as witnesses. And as I told you, if that case didn't result in a countersuit, I just really didn't know how I was going to move forward. Regardless of what any of us think, sometimes settlement is the best answer in a case. I do think it was the best answer here. I hope all parties can move forward, and I really hope Cassie is okay mentally and emotionally. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below.
Sean Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Brother Love Combs. I have never seen a case that big get settled that fast, ever. I've been practicing law damn near 10 years. None of my lawyer colleagues have seen it. And I think this is always going to be I think this is always going to be the result, right? Because what she did, she rejected a $30 million settlement offer. But also, I think just being able to make those allegations in the complaint was, I think, almost better than a tell-all book, right? Because when you file a tell-all book, there's always this like shroud of, did this really happen? And even though it's just allegations in a complaint, just the idea that you file it in federal court brings with it almost this air of truth. And listen, we all listen. You know, I'm a lawyer. I believe in innocent before proven guilty. But this is Diddy. So, shout out to Cassie. Shout out to her attorneys. And brother love, you better stop abusing these girls because you don't create yourself a precedent now. Hey, if you don't hear, you're going to feel.